So I'm going to invite you to move to the first few pews if you can and are okay doing that, so that when we get to the portion of the service when we are doing our radio play, we're able to enjoy each other's company. And if you're a little bit want to stay distant, that's fine too. All right. Let us enter into a spirit of worship, first with our prelude this morning, seasonal selections with our music director, Matthew Johnson. We're a little bit fewer in number this morning because we have our very large Vesper service at 4 p.m., which I hope you will all return for. It's our biggest holiday celebration of the year, when we also have a Vespers tea afterwards. People are invited to just simply come and enjoy the season and be in festive holiday garb as they desire. But this morning is our opportunity to honor the solstice and to celebrate that in a way that we have done for a number of years, which is not to hear me go on for 20 minutes about solstice, but for us to explore a story together that allows us to experience one of the dynamics of solstice. So I invite you to enter into the spirit of your childlike self this morning and get your drama on, because that's what we're going to do. How's that? But first, our prelude.
Good morning. It's so lovely. Okay, I've missed you all so much, with all these colds and respiratory things. So I appreciate you all being here and understanding the mask. We're actually going to be doing our chalice lighting words, our number 88. So everybody that, nope, 80. I only have them. Never mind. I got it now. All right. In the times of darkness, we stumble toward the tiny flame. In times of cold, we seek the warming fire. In times of repression, we reach for the lamp of truth. In times of loss, we pray for the comforting light. In the times of joy, we light a candle of celebration. Spirit of life, as we kindle this light, help us find what we need this day. I'm now going to call the directions, and instead of using the words that are in the book, I actually wrote these this morning. So as I ask you to rise, that doesn't mean you have to stand, but it does mean you need to pay attention. Behind me is north. East is those windows. South is behind you, because summer is behind you. It'll help you remember that. And west is those windows. All right. I have to get up here so you can actually see me. Everyone, please turn towards the east. Spirit thoughts of the east, where we find hope and the rise of the sun. Though the days are short, we know you will return as we leave the east and turn to the south. Spirits of the south, south is that time of connection, of love, of constant companionship, of that time when we want to be together, which is harder in the winter. We ask you to be with us, Spirit of South. Turn to the west. Spirit of the West, that time of great thought, that time of when we get everything done, the time of the harvest, the time of busyness. We ask you to be with us as we turn away from you to the north. Spirit of the North, today we hold you. The North is the time of deep contemplation, of quiet, of silence, of darkness. It's a place where we face our grief, where we face our fears. We embrace this time, knowing that as we do, we can heal as we once again turn to the east. Because we have hope in the sunrise. Our circle is cast. May it be so. You may be seated.
Would you please join together in our opening hymn, number 48, found in your gray hymnals this morning, or 58, I'm sorry. We're good with numbers today. And please rise in body or in spirit. Ring out wild bells through the wild, wild sky, the flaming of the frosty light. The year is it die. Ring out the old and ring the new, ring out the happy bells across the snow. The year is going, let it go. Ring out the false, ring in the true. Ring out the grief that saps the mind. For those that hear we see no more. Bring out the feud of rich and poor. Bring in redress to humankind. Bring out the false pride in the blood, the civic slander of the spy. Bring in the love of truth and right. Bring in the common love of good. Please be seated. Here's where we start to have the fun. Let's see. So, as is our custom, in order for us to accomplish our task this morning of telling a story, we're going to need some help. And as is indicated in part 1 of your story found in your supplement this morning, we're going to need 5 narrators. Who would like to be a narrator this morning? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got our 5 narrators. Now, we're going to need forest trees and plants. Who would like to be a forest tree or plant? Linda would like to be a forest... No. You're already a narrator. Or you can be in the forest. Forest, plant, tree. Who wants to be a tree? Tree. Come on. Who's going to get your tree on? Tree on, tree on. Okay, good. We got some trees. I need a mole. A mole. Ooh, a mole. Very good, very good. And I need a young child. Someone who... You'll be the narrator, you'll be the young child, okay. And let's see. I need an owl. Who's got their who on? Who, up front here? Owl. And I need some flowers. I need a primrose. You'll be a primrose. I need mood flowers. Moonflowers. Anyone want to be a moonflower? You be a primrose with her. Who wants to be a moonflower? 2 primroses. We need 1 moonflower right there. And I need gladiolas. You're a gladiola? Anyone else? Okay, good. So, what we're going to do is we're going to invite the person who's playing the child to come forward with one of the scripts. All right, here we go. So, narrator 1. Let me grab a microphone here. Here we go. When it becomes your turn to narrate, and then when I ask you to start playing your part, I will invite you to do that.
Testing.
Our child has left. He's lost in the woods, but he's making his way forward, and our narrator begins.
There once was a child who got lost in the woods.
Lost in the woods?
As night began to descend, the child became more and more frightened.
What does it mean to be frightened? Can you show me frightened? Like,
I'm sure any of us would be frightened too in that situation. But what made this child even more frightened was that they had always been afraid of the dark. They were more afraid of the dark than any of their friends or siblings. They didn't know why they were more afraid than their friends and siblings. They only knew that when the sun went down, they were always very glad to be inside their brightly lit house.
right behind you.
When the sun was all the way down, and the only light was just a tiny bit of light from the moon and the stars, the child got so frightened, all they could do was sit down and cry, which they did. Soon, he heard a voice say, they looked down and saw a mole squinting up at them.
I'm lost in the woods, and it's dark. And I'm afraid.
Having to come out of my warm and comfortable dark hole to tell people to be quiet.
Go on back into your hole, Mr. Mole. I'll take care of this.
At this, the child burst out crying, even harder than before. Oh, I'm sorry. Never mind. The child looked up in the direction that this newer voice seemed to come from, and in the darkness he could see two glowing eyes looking down at him. Before he could scream, which was his first impulse, there was a flutter of wings, and the creature flew down near him, and he could see that it was an owl.
Please excuse Mr. Mole. He hates to come out of his nice dark hole for anything, to be honest.
At this, the child burst out crying even harder than before, because as frightened as he was of the dark, having non-human animals speak to him was beyond his experience, and a little frightening in itself.
No need for that crying. If you just give me your address, I can guide you home.
With that, the child did indeed stop crying, partly out of relief that someone might be able to lead him home, and partly out of curiosity as to how an owl could locate his home, with or without the address. But deciding he had little to lose, the child choked back his tears.
I'd be very grateful to be guided home. My address is Whispers is out here, and I hope everyone here has his or her home address memorized in case an owl ever had to guide you home.
Narrator 5.
So this strange pair headed off, I need this paper, through the dark forest in what the child hoped was truly the direction of his home. When his fear left him just a little, but the child looked around, and though the moonlight was dim, he began to notice his surroundings a bit. At one point, he noticed a kind of flower that he had never seen before, and slowed his pace just a little so he could gaze at it.
Primrose. So can our primroses stand and show us what it means to be primrose?
Look, that is an evening primrose. Did you know that there are some flowers that bloom only at night? There are moonflowers.
Where are moonflowers? Moonflowers. Show us. Moonflower.
Nice. And night gladiolas.
And gladiolas?
Flowers that you would never see if you never went out at night. And of course, there are animals too who love night and darkness. Me, For example, I love the dark. In the daytime, the light hurts my eyes, so that's when I like to go into my tree and sleep.
Well, I like the daytime. I can see too. Catch a ball. I like the hot sun at the beach when the dark isn't good. It's just boring.
Boring, you say?
Owl clearly had some opinions to express on this point, but just then there was a fluttering and a squeaking around their heads.
There we go. And scene. Excellent. So those of you who are real Unitarian Universalists and you read ahead, we're going to need, just to see if you agree, that's what it's about. If you would think about, we're going to need for our next narration, which is coming in a bit, another child. We're going to need narrators 6 through 11. We're going to need a bat, an owl, insects, and you know who you are, and baby turtles. So think about it. What inspires you to take part in our story today? As is our custom when we come together for worship, we offer an opportunity to share that which is symbolic of our own efforts and values, that which we have earned because of how we serve the world and care for our families and those most important to us, and offer an opportunity to share that in order to continue the ministry and missions of this congregation. So at this time, we invite you to partake in our morning offering. Participate in it. If you would like to do so digitally, you're welcome to text 508-231-5335 and follow the instructions. At this time, our morning offering will be received. Now we come to that time in our service where we're given pause to consider what is deepest in our hearts, most profoundly on our minds, or in the work of our hands, in the days that have transpired or in the prospect of days to come, joys and sorrows that touch us deeply and are given another measure of meaning because of our capacity to share them in the midst of a company that claims us as a co-journeyer. So I invite those of you who have joys or sorrows this morning to come forward to speak briefly into the microphone, telling us first who you are, so that those using our auditory enhancement devices or joining us online can also participate in this important ritual. And then if you would like to light a candle of joy or sorrow, you're welcome to do so. If you would like me to read your joy or sorrow, please bring it with you on one of the index cards found in the pews. For those of you who are online this morning, if you have a joy or sorrow that you would like to share, either on Facebook or on Zoom, please place it in the chat preceded by "please read" so that we can find it quickly, and we will also share those as well. Are there joys or sorrows to be shared this day?
Hi, I'm Janet Stone, and I'm so happy to be able to come back to church for a while. It's been a long time, and I really, really want to say in person how much I appreciate all the kind wishes and the cards that you've all sent. It makes me feel so much less isolated while I'm at home and unable to do anything. And Margus comes to church, and he comes home, and he says, "Oh, you know, people were asking about you." And that makes me feel so incredibly connected again to the church, even though I can't be here in person. And how I am is actually pretty good. The chemotherapy is working, and I can walk now, and I can go out and about, which is something I haven't been able to do in a long time. So as long as I can stand up and walk, I'm certainly hoping that I can come back to church. But again, I really want to thank you for making me feel like I'm still part of this wonderful community.
Good morning. My name is Pauline Corshane. I'm the shoebox lady. So yesterday I processed 50 of the shoe boxes. They got all checked off, and we're getting the last 20 in today, I hope. And JP Perkins will come for them at 1 o'clock this afternoon. On Wednesday, the kids will have their party, and it will be probably bedlam for a little while. And JP will take pictures of the kids and send them back to us so that we know where our gifts went. I just want to make 4 little statements about how I felt during this process. One person came up to me and said, "I'm very thankful for this project because we're very used to giving gifts to our family, but we're not used to giving gifts to someone we don't know." A second person came up to me and with all smiles and said to me, "I had fun doing this project because I bought things for a boy." A third person came up to me and gave me wanted to give me $10 because I had said there were 2 kids left who didn't have any sponsor, so-called, yet. And so I just asked her to wait to see because I thought somebody would certainly come up and did. And the last one is just I had a friend who called and wanted to give me money as well. You don't know these kids, they don't know you. We are creating wonderful memories for them, and your kindness, love, and generosity they're interwoven. They will be woven into the fabric of their memories. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I'm Raina, and my wife Nikki and I and Kai have been coming since September, but I grew up coming to this church when I was a kid. And one of the joys that I have today is my mom, Leslie, some of you guys know her, is here. And Kai's been really excited that Grandma's coming today. But he does have a sorrow, he told me. Do you want to tell them or you want me to tell them? Kai, I think maybe with having his grandma here, is missing his other grandma. His grandma Susie passed on last summer, from esophageal cancer. And
And she passed after her own birthday.
yeah. And I think he's missing her. Having his grandma here is making him think about his other grandma. And so there was one other sorrow that I have. I have an aunt that's in the hospital right now with COVID and pneumonia. And she was put recently on a ventilator, and they're hoping that that will help her to be able to relax and rest and hopefully heal. So thank you.
Hi, I'm Mara Pentlarge, and my husband passed away about 13 days ago. And we had the service here on Monday, and it was wonderful. It was wonderful. And like Janet, I feel so lucky to be part of this community. I feel like the waves of love and support keep coming at me. I'm getting the meal train, food delivered. It's wonderful. And in terms of Kai's experience, my grandson, I think, is missing his grandfather. And he was with us, me, Gabriel, and his dad, Sam, when we went to the house to see why he wasn't answering the phone. And Elijah wasn't allowed to go in. And he keeps asking like 20 questions, like what was going on in that house? And what I figured out today was Grandpa was dead, and we weren't ready to help you understand that at that time, because that's true. Thanks.
David Fields. The holidays can be joyous, but they can also be complex. And particularly if you've been divorced like I have, I don't mention it much, but around the holidays, it's always complex. Who's going to be where? But the winter solstice has always been really the holiday for me and my two children. It's been our holiday, you children, and the winter solstice is the holiday I make a big deal of. So this afternoon, I'm visiting my daughter in Salem, so I won't be at the Vesper service, but it's just a very important time of year for me, and being you helps me get through it.
We need this one for Frank. Hi, my name is Paul, and I lit a candle for some people that I know that passed away. They're pretty dynamic people. I don't get too much to say about it, but I just they'll be missed.
Morning, my name's Kim Napoleone. I'm asking for your prayers for my sister-in-law who's going through surgery on the 23rd, and my cousin's mother is also going through surgery on the 23rd. My thoughts are with them. I'm also having a really hard time because my mom loved to sing. I love singing carols, but it's been real tough this time of year.
I'm Cheryl Lachey, and Solstice has been my thing too. My husband is Jewish. I grew up Christian, Southern Baptist, and I didn't stop being Christian, but I quit being Southern Baptist and became a Unitarian Universalist, and along the way, I became a witch, and it has fed me, and there's always a bone of contention which star to hang up, the 5-pointed star, the 6-pointed star, or the 7-pointed star of Cherokee. So winter is full of stars, and like so many, I embrace the darkness because I grieve. It was only a little bit less than a year since I lost my mom, but I find that anytime we have a celebration that is traditional, whether it's a birthday or Thanksgiving or solstice, all of those that we love that were there with us return. And my hope is that for all of us that are grieving someone, that we can embrace the love of that spirit returning in the fact that we remember them.
What did you ask?
It's good to be back. Are there any joys and sorrows online? Not this morning. Let's all pray. Spirit of love, of remembrance, of joy, of gathering, be with us and heal us. Help us to navigate the dark. Help us to find our way out of the woods. Help us to notice how beautiful it can be as we do the healing we must do. Let us not feel alone, but rather embraced, even if virtually and at 6 feet distance, by those we love and have loved us. I ask all these things because I need them, but I also know so many of you. I heart know you, and I know that you too will appreciate some love and compassion from those who care. Be with us now, O Great Spirit, and bring us joy to balance our sorrows. May it be so. Blessed be. Amen.
Can you bring the other microphone down? So we're going to need narrators 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you're narrator 6, narrator 7, narrator 8. Who else? Narrator 9, narrator 10, narrator 11. We need another child. There we go. So we have our child. I need a bat. You're going to be the bat. Excellent. I need an owl. Who wants to be the owl? Mara's going to be the owl. How about you insects? Who's going to be in it? And you're not going to have to go anywhere but stand where you are. But you got to get your insect on. There's an insect. There's an insect. Who else is an insect? Insects back there. Anyone else want to be an insect? Up front here. Excellent. And I need baby turtles. Now, if you're an insect, you could also be a baby turtle. So, baby turtles, all right? In fact, I'm going to allow everyone to be a baby turtle. How's that? Except the child. So you just have to get your baby turtle on, except for you who get to be something else. How's that? All right. So the child comes forward, and Owl. Where's Owl? Owl comes forward. Nope, you're good. You're the bat. So you stay here as well. Yep. All right, so the child says, and we quote,
A bat?
narrator 6.
It took the child just a few seconds to figure out what it was, and they shrieked and started flailing their arms to knock the creature away. Shrieking the whole time, the shape backed away and hovered beyond reach.
Where's the other mic? Pauline has it. Oh. Okay, just need it for a moment. So, the bat.
Excuse me, that's just my way of saying hello.
Well, hello to you, Mr. Bat. This child was out here lost in the forest, and I'm helping them find their way home. You're not hurt, are you?
Well, probably have a bruise on my back, but I think I'll live.
But you're a bat, a creature of darkness. Weren't you trying to drink our blood?
Oh, no, but I've been eating lots of yummy insects. Who would have been biting you if I hadn't been around?
Where are the insects? Everyone's an insect. Come on, get your insect on.
Anyway, I couldn't help overhearing what you said about darkness being boring. If you want to come just a little bit out of your way, I can show you something really exciting.
My parents always told me never to go any place with strangers.
Owl will vouch for me. We've known each other for years and years.
Owl agreed that Mr. Bat was indeed an upstanding citizen. So the group went off the path and traveled through the deepest forest for what seemed like just a few minutes, and they came out onto a dark beach.
Guess who's the dark beach?
Looks like we got here just at the right time.
No, here we are.
Oh, I'm sorry. Here we are.
This is certainly beautiful.
It's certainly beautiful, even in the dark, but I won't call it exciting.
Narrator 8.
Just then, there was movement in the sand, like a little bubble of sand
All right,
rising
so
up.
movement in the sand. One. Oh, please, you could do better than that. Movement in the sand, and then gradually having to get up because you're coming out of the sand, right? Come on. Let's do it.
Then there was another little bubble, then another. It looked almost as if the beach in the area they were looking at were boiling. Then, out of one of those little bubbles of sand popped a rounded shape.
Where is the popping? Come on, popping out. Let's go. Hurry up. Popping. You know who you are. Pop. Pop. There we go. Excellent. Popping.
Looks like we got here just at the right time.
Narrator not. Oh.
As they watched, more and more shadowy shapes came up out of the sand, and soon the child realized what he was seeing. Lots of baby turtles, hundreds, climbing out of the sand. This was truly exciting. Once each turtle shape pulled itself up out of the sand, it started crawling as fast as its little legs could carry toward the water.
All right, let's see the crawling. Good, excellent. Yep.
When the baby sea turtles hatch, they need to find their way to the water, and they almost always do this at nighttime, because to find the water, they need darkness everywhere else to follow the moon and starlight reflecting off the water. Daytime sunlight is too bright and scattered everywhere.
Oh.
The group turned to leave the beach and head for the child's home.
You know who else loves the darkness besides all the nighttime plants and animals? The moon and the stars love the darkness.
All right, now we need to be stars, so everyone rise in body or in spirit and get your star on. How do you twinkle? Twinkling is a good idea right now. Show me you twinkle. Is there a moon in here that someone would rather be a moon than twinkle? Come on. There we go. Excellent, excellent, okay.
Oh, they're there in the daytime as well, hidden behind a wall of light. But when that wall goes down with the sun, the stars and the moon reveal their beauty.
And
After what seemed like a very short time, the child and the owl left the forest and walked down a street that the child recognized as its own. He was very happy and relieved, but also a little sad to say goodbye to Owl, to whom he gave a very gentle hug and a thank you. He went into his home and, being extremely tired, got ready for bed right away.
And who's narrator? Here we go.
Before he went to bed, as a matter of habit, he bent down to turn on the nightlight that he always kept glowing through the night to keep the dark at bay. But before his fingers touched the switch of the nightlight, he smiled and pulled his hand away. He got into his bed, pulled up the covers, and let the comforting arms of darkness soothe him to sleep.
And scene. I can hear it now. I'm never coming back. He made me stand up and be a star and moon. And those of you who are newest with us, this does not happen every Sunday, just this Sunday. But it is our opportunity to honor the fact that at the turning of the year, there are so many emotions, so many different experiences. For some people, this is a time when memories bring about a cloud of sadness. And for others, the darkness is the moment at which they begin to become most inspired. And both are true. And in fact, bringing the energy of both of those things to the other helps us find a balance that sometimes is hard to imagine at this time of the year, especially as busy as we are. So my hope is that in the next couple of days in particular, and maybe in the next month or so, when you step outside, pause for a moment. Take in the darkness. Let it soothe you and inspire you. Remember how many things in the world come alive when it's dark, including you. And as tired as you feel, and I know how tired many of you are, let it also bring you peace and joy, because that, in fact, is the lesson of winter solstice. Would you please join me in our closing hymn, number 1011, found in your teal hymnal this time. Return again, return again, return to the home of our souls. Return again, return to the home of our souls. Return to who you are. Return vision before. Can you return once again to that part of yourself, that childlike, is absolutely nothing. It's a great thing. The silence of the forest. May you see the colored lights of the season that sparkle of fire, that sparkle of fire, that once was almost the word of the sun was the truth, the light will be dead.
As we release the directions, please face to the east. Spirit of the East, source of hope and sunrise, thank you for your presence. Leave us with hope. Bless you. We release you. Turn to the north. Wittershins, to the north. We're letting it go. Spirit of the North, you who are winter and contemplation and silence, we embrace you. We let you go. Thank you for your presence. Turn to the west. Spirit of the West, of activity and constant movement, you who were our planning, we let you go a long time ago. Thank you for your presence. Turn to the south. Spirit of the South, of joy, of gathering, of being together, we bless you and take your blessings. Thank you. We let you go. And back to the east. One more time, we're going to grab hope as we walk out the door. Blessed be, our circle is open but unbroken. May the Spirit of life bless you till we meet again. Blessed be.
Before we take off, there are a couple of announcements.
Many years ago, I was blessed at the service auction by this woman. who gave me a piano when I was bidding against a friend for another piano. And when she saw that I gave up the bidding so that my other friend could have a piano, she gave me her piano from her house. Unfortunately, now I need to let go of that same piano, and I want to let it go to this community. If anybody would like a free piano, please contact me. I've had it in my home for 15 years. It's pet-free, smoke-free, and it's been on an inside wall, so it's been taken care of. It will need tuning, but please come see me if you want a piano. I want it to go to a house of love.
With my grandmother's piano. I know.
And I hope you will all join us at 4 p.m. this afternoon for our annual Vespers service and tea. And if I don't see you this afternoon, I hope that you have a wonderful holiday season. We will also gather here Christmas Eve at 7 p.m. for a service of carols and lessons. And on Christmas morning, which is a Sunday this year, I know you all want to be up and going to church at 10 a.m. on Christmas Day. For those of you who would like to, there are 3 churches that are gathering: Greendale Ecumenical Group, Salem Covenant Church, this congregation, and Zion and Bethel Lutheran churches. We're going to be on the other side of the universe in Auburn at Bethel Lutheran Church at 10 a.m. for a combined service that day as well. May yours be a wondrous and wonderful holiday, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon.